kind of person you are.
The military are taking people.
What is going on here? Are you even real?
Just because the whole world is going crazy doesn't mean we have to go crazy with it!
The following announcement has been paid for.
It's going to be the biggest battleground in the history of our sport. The biggest match in pro wrestling history.
Okay. Oh, I got it. This is better. Last word. I dig music. Woo! I'm on drugs!
As the biggest night in the history of this great organization.
Oh, that's right, folks. It's me. It's the THC-DOGG back with the I to the double ZY, Mr. Izzy. Hi. Welcome to the WMW Podcast. I'm digging your shirt there, my friend.
Thank you. It's a Japanese special, man. I got Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Inoki, and Bruno Sammartino for some reason. So I'm guessing it was the Madison Square Garden tag tournament.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Yeah,
was it Hansen that popped Vader's eye out of his head?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I'm pretty sure it was Hansen. The tough son of a bitch. That is one thing I have heard consistently throughout the years is that there are a lot of, quote unquote, tough guys in professional wrestling, but Stan Hansen, he was a legitimate badass.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'd put him up there based on the stories I've heard. I'd put him up there with everybody's favorite Samoan. I'd always want Haku. I've seen Haku's like in his 60s now. I would still take Haku.
Right.
Go ahead.
The important thing about that is they would take it as well as they gave it. I always give the example of the toughest guy that I knew in the business was Gypsy Joe.
Sure.
The same thing when we had Necro on, we talked about Gypsy Joe. If he's willing to take everything that you're going to give, then you got to be more than willing and accepting to take what he's going to give as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, what was he? He was like 72 when he fought New Jack in that.
Yeah.
And in that fucking mess. And again, I understood nothing against Jack, but Jack,
Well, I ended up, in the book, you guys will read later, but I ended up having a run-in with him later on myself. So
yeah,
it's in my book. You'll be able to check. We'll start pushing that book later, but
absolutely.
Anyhow, Bruiser Brody as well. Still, you can bring him up, and
sure.
For me being my age and the T-shirts and the whatnot, I'm truly reliving and. You'll be able to know about my life. I'm actually living those childhood and those teenage years now because I didn't get to do that.
Right.
Now I get to truly have fun with it and appreciate it for what it is. Maybe that's the gift because I wouldn't have appreciated it then the way that I did.
Sure.
So,
sure.
Yeah.
It's as far as Bruiser goes, it's been nice to see Barbara, his wife. She's doing a lot of. She's been invited to a lot of conventions, a lot of events.
Right.
Her out and to tell her story. I met her in passing in Philadelphia a couple of months ago, but seemed like a very nice lady. And the fans really have a lot of respect for her and appreciate all of the stories because people loved Bruiser, man. I mean, I know there are people who like, oh, he was a bully or he was this, he was that, but overall. I mean, he brought something so different. I mean, and he was him and the original Sheik. And, there were certainly guys doing that harder core type of thing. But what Bruiser, he's not a Mario villain. What Bruiser brought to the table, he was hated by the fans who were supposed to hate him. There was never a lot of confusion. Like either you were cheering for Bruiser or you were booing Bruiser. There wasn't a whole lot of gray area from what I've seen over the years. You either loved the guy or you hated it as a fan.
Right.
Backstage, I never met the man. Obviously, he left us under tremendously terrible circumstances. But so yeah.
I'll give you the example though for as we talk about Bruiser Brody or Stan Hansen, you could compare them to Johnny Cash. All right, they were outlaws, and they were outlaws for their time. And
sure.
Again, they created there was no Bruiser Brody before Bruiser Brody.
Right.
He was the mold. There was no Stan Hansen before that is the mold.
Sure.
And still to this day, there could be a lot of imitators, but they'll never.
Oh yeah. I mean, how many people ripped off Billy Graham?
Right. Yeah, he was the template.
No Billy.
Pale in comparison.
Oh yeah. No Billy Graham, no Hulk Hogan.
Right.
No Jesse Ventura, no Scott Steiner later on, or Petey Williams, or So yeah, it's been an interesting experience doing these shows now, because I am getting to meet people who I never thought I would get the opportunity to meet, but I'm not doing it from a fan perspective. It's like when I go and I talk to the guys, it's because I want to I want to help them get their stories done. I was talking to Pat the other day, and one of the things that we were talking about was, as they get older, CTE problems and stuff over the years, those memories are disappearing. Yeah. And so that's why for me it's so important now to get these stories down, because I'm never going to be able to read a book by Rick Rude or by Kurt Hennig, or it didn't happen. And, so for me, I want to make sure that these guys and gals are properly represented in the history of the business. So
yeah, and the thing of it is each time we lose one of them, it's a piece of history, and true history being taken away.
Exactly.
And the lessons that came with that, because for me, what was it? Highlander? Is that when the person passed away and they absorbed all?
Yes, the quickening.
Okay, and there are so many guys that I have been so blessed to be around and sit under the learning tree of, and I carry that knowledge and I carry those stories, and when I go, Isaiah will have those stories to share from me, and my son will have some of those stories to share.
Sure.
And with the book coming out, it'll be there as well. But that's this business is such an interesting thing because it crosses over in so many different ways.
It does.
And with pop culture, with television, it's just, yeah. And that's what gets lost a lot of times is how much it crosses.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I saw a commercial on YouTube the other day. I think it was something like 1981 or something. It was Terry Funk doing an ad for a car dealership in Texas. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, that's one of the things that we lost with the territories was that local advertising. Because I was watching a clip of we talked to Sam Houston last weekend. Well, my partner talked to Sam Houston last weekend, and I was like, have you ever seen Sam? And that's the thing, is she's not a wrestling fan, but which actually worked out really well because a lot of the boys at the convention and stuff were, I get it. The fans are great. I'm not knocking the wrestling fans. They're there. They're the reason why, you guys succeed. They're the reason why you guys fail. If you don't get the fans, you don't, but Sam was saying, they were talking about some stuff. And then later on, I was like, I said, have you ever seen Sam work? And she's like, no. So we watched an ad. We watched a Superstars match from like 88 or something like that. But what they did at one point, and this is what put it in my head, is at one point during the match, the commentary track went silent, and it was replaced by an advertisement for a show that was coming up in coming next weekend in Bristol, and at this and such a place, and then they went back to the match.
Howard Finkel, yeah, the Howard Finkel cut in coming from Stamford next week.
Exactly. So that's another one of those things.
Fans in Dayton, Ohio, you don't want to miss coming to Hara Arena.
Exactly.
The WWF champion Hulk Hogan, and
true.
And
that's absolutely true. Man, Howard.
Before that, on Georgia Championship Wrestling, they used to have Freddie Miller, and Freddie Miller would do the same thing, and he'd run down the towns that they're coming to, and then his closing line was "Be there." And that was, Freddie Miller from Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Lee Marshall did that on Nitro. Like they would send him out and about, and it was like, I don't know, 1-800-COLLECT for those of you who might remember that. Folks, back in the day, you used to be able to call somebody and charge the call to them.
Right.
But the Stagger Lee Marshall. And I saw a picture the other day from like the 70s or something, late 70s or something. And I'm looking and I'm like, I think that's Lee Marshall.
Right.
I'm like, wow, I didn't realize that he had been, in the business for that long.
Right.
So that was that was one of the things that this week kind of as I was putzing around doing my my investigations and all that stuff was those local ads and those local come to Johnny Hot Rod's car dealership and meet Terry Funk, and Terry Funk will be there signing pictures, balloons everywhere and shit.
I think one of the best known ones, I'm going off the top of my head, might have been Paul Bosch's, or it was a jewelry store, and I can't remember the name of the jewelry store, but Paul Bosch was known for his cauliflower ears. He had really huge cauliflower ears, but they zoomed in to an earring on this cauliflower ear, and they zoomed in, and he said, if they can make these ears look good, and but that was one of the more well-known endorsements.
Nice.
I can't remember the name of the jewelry company. Yeah,
that's it's, again, the business changed, but there are still pieces of it that would be like I remember watching Saturday mornings, Superstars and coming to New Haven Coliseum, and it's like, which is now a parking lot. Unfortunately,
and there's a part that was lost as well, and I had talked about this on Rip's show for a second. I had typed it in as a question, but how much that you're sitting there as a fan, and it's the same response if you go to the concerts, and Mick Foley referred to it as the cheap pop. Yeah, and you got that inside that internal cheap pop when you heard, oh, they're coming to town, oh shit, and and I think part of that is lost in the business.
No, absolutely. They don't build the anticipation the way that they used to, because everything is worldwide now.
Right? Do they even do localized market interviews?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and talk about something in regards to marijuana law that might be very, very interesting. So check this out. And this book actually drops on Monday on Amazon and everywhere books are sold. Ah, yes, indeed, folks. Be sure to check out Worthless, the Robin Smith story. It is a amazingly powerful story of survival and struggle and perseverance and reaching your goals. Growing up in horrific circumstances, and and then one day being at the top of your profession, being at the very top of that. And Robin is an absolutely amazing woman, and I know that her and Bobby had a really good time working on that book together. And the buzz was building for it at the gathering in North Carolina last weekend. So that drops on Monday, my friends, everywhere books are sold online, and be sure to check that out. There will be autographed copies available through Bobby Murphy Books directly. So if you're interested, check that out as well. And so this is interesting. Apparently, and I can't say it surprises me, because because of the rise of medicinal marijuana and the ongoing legalization on the state levels, the orange shit gibbon is actually considering reclassifying marijuana from a Schedule 1, I guess, to a Schedule 2 or whatever. So what that means is basically he'll be decriminalizing across, across the country. Now you might ask yourself, like I did, wow, that sounds like something that would actually be good for the people. Why the hell is Trump doing it? Because there's got to be, a who's getting what. Well, of course there is, because these marijuana companies now that supply the dispensaries and stuff, these are multi-million-dollar companies now. And if you want some political swing and you're a multi-million-dollar company, and we have the most corrupt president in the history of the fucking union in the fucking White House right now, makes sense to me to say, hey, man, I mean, because we can all agree that it shouldn't be a class 1 drug. All right. If I had cocaine, crack, heroin, and marijuana, one of these things is not like the fucking other. All right. So, and we all know why they did it. The history is all there and all of that. But I think that it's a very interesting timing on this as well. Because, if you've been paying attention to the numbers, things do not look good. So this could be a way. I don't know. It just feels weird. Like we've been fighting for this for a long time. It just feels weird.
I have a few different thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one thing that keeps us from having a complete digital currency is drugs still being illegal. Because so many transactions that are done in the dark by people well above my pay rate,
Right.
that can still happen, that can still fund different things, and there's still no record of.
Right.
I think if different things start becoming legal, that could lead to more push for digital currency as well. That being the other thought.
Sure. I could see that, because if everything's above board, then yeah, if the light's shining on it, then we're good. Like I said, like I'm excited about the idea. I mean, let's be fucking honest. I'm a 50-year-old white dude. I was never anybody's problem in the first place.
Right.
My wife is funny because she used to worry about it so much. I'm like, babe, you're a white woman in their 50s. You're not a threat to anybody.
But
But
that also changes the focus, and I think that ties in with the focus on a different criminal element, being the people who are here that are undocumented or whatnot, because you still have private prisons, and they still have to look out for their stockholders in these private corporations, and they still have to keep people in there one way or the other. And if it's not going to be through marijuana,
Oh yeah, because
what's the trade?
If I can walk into my local gas station, I mean, obviously you've got to continue to have it regulated and tested, and make sure that people, because that's the whole part of it there too. It's like, I've never done cocaine, but I know a lot of people who have done cocaine, and it's not always just cocaine that they're getting in their cocaine. So I can understand why you'd have to come up with some kind of a universal system of purity if you're going to do it on a national level. So I would again, I'm not a pot grower. I don't run I don't know anything about the business of making and growing and selling weed. But it's interesting. And I think, I mean, ultimately I believe that if it does happen soon, it's because he's looking for a distraction. And if you get the people, hey, weed's legal now, then we don't give a fuck what's going on outside of that. So, I mean, not sure I do, but and I'm perfectly fine with where I live. So yeah, kind of weird. So today, you were telling me before.
Well, hold on, man. Have we discussed what we are partaking and consuming?
Oh yes, that's right. Jumping the gun a little.
Things, man. Real quick, the timing of this. I've been loading up, getting ready to go to the gathering next week, and right now. And there's also a special going on over at the Flower Bowl. Hey, look, there's the logo. Right
like magic.
Wow, I looked away and ta-da! 315 Inkster Road, Inkster, Michigan. And right now, one of the specials that they have going on are these infused beauties. What's that say? The birthday cake. Yeah, that's the birthday cake. And then the other one is, these are a couple of my
unicorn piss I've had before. I like it.
Who doesn't like a good unicorn every now and again? But yeah, this is through the Good Life Company, and those are 10 for $25, man. Hard to beat that price. Nice. And personally, I've been hitting on this one through the
right on. The purple punch is good. I like the purple punch too.
Yeah, man. And
we have some similar.
Yeah. Flower wise, I've been on a sativa because I've been trying to keep it working and keep it moving, man. So I've been on Gelinade, and Gelinade is a hybrid, of course, keep me going. And it's a lemon tree mixed with gelato number 41, and it produces an uplifting effect and makes you feel like a social butterfly. Who could?
Yay!
But yeah, and it also helps you feel energetic. Who could tell? Nice. Focused and talkative of all things. Who knew?
No.
Right? So
that's crazy.
So make sure you check them out over at the Flower Bowl. Tell the Giant that I sent you, and you can also get free weed going in there. You fill out a review on Google, tell them that we sent you, and also 30% off your first visit. Tell the Giant we sent you from the WMW Podcast. Your great uncle and the THC Dogg sent you. So
all right. And let's not forget our good friends over at Black Dog Printing.
Yeah, man.
Who are running this amazing promotion. One color print T-shirt, 50 of them for $250. Sizes small to extra large. They do have 2X to 5X. A little bit of extra cost. It makes sense. It's a little bit of extra fabric. And Gildan makes great T-shirts. I own a few of them. They are soft. They are ultra comfortable. And they're nice. They're a nice T-shirt. So be sure to check that one out. And you can find them at blackdogprinting.org. And we're going to be working with them. We're going to have some merch coming out, some podcast merch coming out. And so, well, I just had whatever it was really good. I can't remember what the fuck it was. we had a 6-pack special this week at Rise.
So you did all 6 before we got on, right?
No, just the one, but they're 3/4 gram joints. So I'm a little. This is the vape is gas and glue.
Right on.
But what the hell was that? It was something I've had before that I am a really big fan of, which is probably why I can't remember.
Hot.
But hot, yeah, it's good. I remember back in the day, and this is the funny thing. I saw this whole article the other day. It was cracking me up. It was about weed snobs, and I'm like, these kids have no idea. Like when we used to get weed back in the day, it was weed.
Right.
Okay, occasionally out on the East Coast, we'd get something from Cali.
Right.
We get a Kush or something like that, but it was just weed. It was fucking brick. It was dirt weed most of the time.
Yeah,
but we didn't care. We didn't care. It was what we got. And now they're like, oh, now I see people complaining about this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, just be fucking happy, all right? Be happy you don't have to go meet fucking Jeff in the parking lot of a goddamn Rite Aid.
If you can see me hot stepping into the flower bowl, man, it's like, I can only compare the feeling possibly to when alcohol prohibition ended. And you walk into a liquor store, how many different varieties of liquor in a liquor store? And anybody that's never been in a dispensary, it's kind of like that. And you're like, oh my God, I could. And for me, it's like going into the toy store again when you don't want one of those, and I ain't got the money for one of those or one of those, and a couple of these, and one of
Well, Rise has fucking automated kiosk. Like you walk in and like all the weeds in the back.
Right.
But you walk in and it's this touch screen. They've got this huge machine, and you scroll and you pick, and it right across the way, and then they've got your order. I mean, it's the easiest way I've ever bought weed. It's the nicest place I've ever bought weed. I can tell you that. It is really good. Do I still have something cool happened? I don't see if I still have the thing here. Oh no, I guess not. Oh, it sucks. Oh wait. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So I was we recently an Ollie's here in Quincy. And for those of you who don't know, Ollie's is a discount store. They carry all kinds of stuff. And when I say they carry all kinds of stuff, that's me putting it as nicely as possible. They have food, they have car stuff, they have books, they have small appliances, they have all kinds of shit. But one of the cool things that they do have is toys. You get a lot of extra stock left over from different things that didn't sell, like Star Wars toys from like 5 years ago. So I went in there yesterday looking for something specific that I had seen. The biggest problem with Ollie's is I see a lot of Ollie's videos on YouTube, which is how I came to discover them in the first place. But not every store gets the same stuff.
Right.
So like I saw something in one of the stores on the video and I was like, oh, I should go see if ours has it. They didn't have it, but they did have this. And this is cool as shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is Bray Wyatt from the Lights Out match.
Okay.
That he did with what's his name? LA Knight. This is Bray's last match, actually.
Okay.
So they had those, and I was like, well, I'm like, you're coming home with me, because I got to reorganize some stuff, and goddamn it, you're Bray Wyatt. So let's hit a quick commercial. We'll come back and we'll get into some music.
Awesome.
How can ordinary choices bring you face to face with death?
It was really safe.
Felicia, it's okay. Felicia, it's okay!
Hello, Mother.
I think it's so amazing that you can reach people's deceased loved ones.
Well, some people have unfinished business, and that's why they stay.
Hi. I rented out the suite online.
Pull yourself together.
Bestie.
Will you dare to open the door?
You're always going to be welcome here. Always.
All right, so that is the trailer for At Death's Door, new anthology horror film coming out next month, directed by Mr. Frank Palangi, a mad scientist of all kinds. Oh no, wait, what?
That you?
Yeah. Yes, and written by yours truly.
Really?
Yep. It's fun. It was a super good time. Frank and I have there's so many Franks now. I've got several Franks, several Kevins. It's like fuck a couple of Chris's. And I'm trying to I got to get a big fucking serial killer billboard or fucking board just to you're here. So today, two very interesting musical discussions today, and I'm gonna drop mine real quick because it's a really quick story, but the song is really good.
Awesome.
There was this band in Connecticut, Fairfield County, when I was in the mid '90s, I guess, and they were called Those Melvins, not the Melvins. That's a totally different band. Those Melvins, and they were a local club band. They played around and stuff, put it out an album. But this one, this is my favorite song from that album. This is from the album. The album is called Elmer Season, as in rabbit season, duck season.
That's
Elmer
great.
Season. And this is Feel Like I'm in the 70s Again.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Things
Great
that look
Brady.
silly. Ames. Things that smell.
Pablo Cruz. 8-track tapes.
Music. Things that sound like this.
HR Puffin stuff. Free television. Things that go bump in the dark.
Really don't be a hero.
That came out of the 70s. Yes.
We talk about the best decade since '69. Oh yeah, the 70s were so cool because of Gene Rayburn and Beat the Clock. Oh yeah, remember the DeFranco family? Oh yeah, I had a crush on Patty Hearst, 7th grade. Oh yeah, and I feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like, oh yeah, I used to collect wacky packs and Dorothy Hamill haircuts. Oh yeah, Jimmy Carter, Amy Carter, Billy Carter, welcome back Carter. Oh yeah, leisure suits were really big, so was Fog Hat. Oh yeah, Evil Knievel. Oh yeah, and I feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like, oh yeah, cheesy guitar solo. I'm in the 70s again. The hustle. Feel like I'm in the 70s again. Feel like I'm in the 70s again. Far out. Feel like, oh yeah. Remember all those disaster movies like Towering Inferno and Jaws and Airport 2? Oh yeah. And all those great actors like Linda Blair and Roy Scheider. Give them a hand. Oh yeah. Planet of the Apes. Part 18, Cornelius. Oh yeah, game shows. Wow. Oh yeah, and I feel like I'm in the 70s again. Donny Osmond, feel like I'm in the 70s again. George McGovern, feel like I'm in the 70s again. Fog Hat, feel like
kids. Clogs. Where are all the clogs? Where have all the clogs gone? Where are all the clogs?
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
We don't know where all the clogs went.
It sounded a little bit like Scatterbrain as well. Do you remember that band?
Yep. They were fun. They were fun little, bar band. And for some people, that's enough. I mean, making music on your own terms. As a musician, that's exactly what you want to do. So, they're long broken up. Only ever released the one album, as far as I'm aware. But it was fun while it lasted.
Right.
So, tell me about your musical pick for today. I do believe it is these gentlemen right here.
Oh man, the story about this gentleman right there. That gentleman there, his name is Glenn Scott, and to give you a little bit of background, and I've mentioned it before here, I was a street kid, man. I've legitimately been on my own since I was 14. And I was kind of wandering the streets of Dayton, and I heard music coming out of this place, and it drew me to it. And it was a tattoo shop. And on the door, it had the rules of the tattoo shop. And it also said at the bottom, nobody under 18. And I could hear this music, and this is a tattoo shop, and it has to be cool in there. And I knocked on the door. And at the time, he was about 20 years younger. And he came to the door, and he had the hair and the beard, and he said, "What do you want?" And I about shit myself because there's this guy covered in tattoos and looking like this. And I said, I heard the music. I just want to come listen to the music. And he said, "Come in." And he took me inside of the shop, and the band was set up in the shop. And he said, "Sit over there in the corner and keep your mouth shut." And I did that, and I got to hang out. And because of the way I carried myself, and because he understood my story, he opened up the tattoo shop to me. And it was a place that I could go, and I could find some sanctuary. I could find some peace, and nobody would bother me there. And I could learn the business. And I was taught, this man was so close to a father that I had, because he looked out for me in so many different ways. When I kickboxed, he was my sponsor. When I'd go on the road, he'd pay for different expenses.
Nice.
When anything that I did, he would do everything he could to help support me, help endorse me in whatever way possible. And that's it. Check him out if you're in Ohio. There is no better. This guy set the standard legitimately in the 70s and 80s for cleanliness in tattoo shops. This was the guy. And I was so fortunate and so blessed to have this man in my life. And again, much like I talked about Christian Lang before, this guy opened so many doors for me in so many different ways. And if I wouldn't have had him in my life, I don't know where I'd be right now. And I still talk to him on a regular basis. So anybody, real quick, before we go into his band, if you go into Ohio, Dayton, Ohio area, give him a call there, and you can get the Uncle Frank special there. So, drop my name with him. And his band is the one band that we're talking about now is Muggsy Croftshire. And that's it right there. Glenn Scott on bass guitar, Dan Turner on vocals, Dave Hoschauer on guitar, and Carl Fleischer on drums. And if you would, let's play a little bit of Love My Bike.
All righty.
I got a hog out back with a sidecar built for three.
I got a private jet plane on named Air Force SOB. I got a bottle of weed and women to the left and the right. I got a love gun of a door, might as well marry my wife. I love my wife. She lets me run all night. I love my wife. I got some big black boots to remind me who's in charge. We ride down every week to Vegas to hang out with porno stars. I got a bottle of bitches and women to the left and the right. I don't love none of them, so I might as well marry my wife. I love my wife. She lets me ride all night. I love my wife.
We there?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard anybody love a bike since Pee Wee Herman.
So, as I said, he supported, excuse me, caught me off guard. He has supported just about every project that I've put together. And last thing is, coming up in October, we have this is a continuation, by the way. I had began Best Wrestling in the early 2000s. And it was the goal of Best Wrestling for my students to have a weekly format that they could work in front of a crowd. And at the time, weekly shows by any promotion was just kind of unheard of.
Right.
And I was inside the inner city of Detroit teaching with Truth Martini at the time. And what I wanted to do was set up these shows where they could work weekly in front of people. And I also tried to make it affordable for the inner city kids. And I tied it together with the Gleaners Food Bank. So
Nice.
if you brought two canned goods, you got into the show for free. Other than that, it was $5
Nice.
to get into the show. And when I told Glenn that I was doing this and I wanted to put together a video for the kids to see and whatnot,
Sure.
and to promote the shows, he gave me complete permission to use any music that I wanted. So I was able to again spotlight him and kind of pay him back as well.
Sure. Absolutely.
So the music for this was my weekly shows in Detroit, Best Wrestling, which still goes on now in New Mexico, October 11th or 12th. But Best Wrestling stands for blood, emotion, sweat, and tears. And that's the price you have to pay for stardom.
Sure. Absolutely.
So if you would play Best Wrestling, and the music again by Muggsy Croftshire.
Did you send me that? I don't think you
sir.
did. All right, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, folks.
No, that's all right.
We're organized.
Again, man. This is we're calling it on the fly here.
Let's see. Hold on. So, there it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought
again, that was my weekly promotion in Detroit that still continues to this day. Now in New Mexico, we run once a year, and our show's coming up October 12th, I believe.
So one of those days, I know I'm supposed to be out
Yeah, we're supposed to be out in New Mexico. We're going to really start promoting that soon, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, it's we've got some big things coming up.
It is. It's true. It's absolutely true. There's so much craziness. There's so many projects that are coming to fruition.
And live shows coming soon. The old medicine show style. We're going to have comedy. We're going to have music. We're going to have books. And we're going to have crazy looks. All those things wrapped up in one. You and me, son.
Gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time. Because you know what? If it's not fun, why bother doing it?
Yeah, 2 tears in a bucket.
Exactly. All right, here we go.
Tell me your feelings. Tell me your dreams. Tell me the only thing that makes you scream. I know the trouble I've had this too. Tell me the obstacles that I've put you through. What I know is all I know, and I don't know you. Played the game for you, apart. The things that I taught you. Yeah, the things that I taught you. Tell all the friends you have that I'm no good. Go and scar my name, I'll bet you would. Now I'm alone again, with me, myself, my 2 best friends. If I gave it all to you, what am I supposed to do? What I know is all I know, and I don't know you. Played the game, tore you apart. The things that I taught you.
All right. I dig it, man. I dig it.
Yeah, man. That was, as I said, that was my attempt to run weekly shows in the Detroit market.
Sure.
And develop students at the same time. All the guys that you've seen in that video worked out and trained with me at one time or another.
Nice.
That was through the House of Truth wrestling school, and he still operates today here in Detroit.
It's nice to it's one of the things that I like about the wrestling business is that you can see, like, if you're a trainer or you're a coach, you can see your students achieve.
Right.
You know, whereas with a lot of the other sports, it's like if you're really good at football, you're really good at football.
Right.
You know, you'll train, you'll play on teams, you'll do practice, but you either have that talent or you don't.
Right.
But with wrestling, because there's so much variety, you know, in the styles, you can. I mean, if okay, so you're not a high flyer. Are you a ground and pound guy? Are you you know, like what is your thing? Because odds are good. There's a space for it.
Like when you go to New Mexico with me this year, I produce that show. I produce the backstage. I put together, you know, a little behind the scenes here. But a few of my students, I'll walk up and I'll tell them, listen, I just want to be a fan of this. I do not want to know a fucking thing. I don't want to hear a word. I want to sit there and I want to watch this and I want to enjoy this, because some of these guys have been with me since they were in high school, legitimately. So I've watched them grow into the men they are, and to be able to sit back like that, you know, and to
Exactly.
see and watch them produce. there's been times I've sat in the crowd just bawling my eyes out. No bullshit. And Isaiah, he knows when he gets me, and he busts my balls about it. He's like, were you out there crying? I'm like, man, fuck you. Yeah, you got me, you fucking dick. Because these guys are my heart. And
it's being a proud father is what it is. It's like you take these kids and you make real significant change in their life. You offer real possibilities, to get out of the situations they're in, to improve the situation that they're in. And that is something that is remarkable and an admirable gift to have. And it's one of the reasons why, I think you and I get along so well, is because for me, it's not about me and my bullshit. It's about taking the best young people I can find and making them into authors, or making them into, film people, or whatever it is that I do. And to see them succeed, to see them have books come out and, go on to bigger things. That's, for me, that's it. It's like, I'm not ever going to be, and I acknowledge this, and I don't live under any delusions. I am never going to be, we're publishing a book by Ben Affleck big. I know that. I'm 50 years old. I don't have that much time, but that's not my goal, because everybody knows who the fuck Ben Affleck is, right. But I want to hear stories from, the stuntmen. I want to hear stories from the wrestlers. I want to hear stories from directors, so for me, that's where I get my, yes, we got this, and when people are calling me and they're like, oh, this book is great, we love it, that makes me feel that I did my job. And that's, and that's all.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
And for me, and I know a lot of people aren't on my Facebook or whatnot, but I kind of put out a mission statement as well when it comes to this. And my job here is to enhance whoever that we have on here when we're interviewing. It's not about that I was a wrestler back in the day, right, and I wrestled here and No. If I wouldn't be sitting here talking if
right.
I hadn't already established that. I'm not here to stroke my ego. I'm here as a talent enhancement to try to get the best out of each person that we have on here, to find that, to spotlight that, and show people. And that's my only interest in doing this when we're interviewing somebody.
I love talking to folks, and there's obviously, there's drama in every community, but for the most part here, I mean, the one thing about working with the wrestlers and working with people who have been like, in the industry, like in TV and movies for 40 years, they're not going to bullshit me. They don't have to bullshit me. No. And it's like, which is like I said, it's like, I'm never going to be, I published Ben Affleck's book big, but I don't want to be. So, right. That's the thing. It's like, I like what I do, and the paths that are opening up before us right now are tremendous, and we're going to have so much fun. And that's the thing. It's like, we're going to put out some great stuff. We're going to make people excited, and the window, even my upstairs window, the sidewalk goes like right by my house, like maybe maybe like 2 to 3 feet of lawn between the sidewalk and my front door. So like, it always seems like people are walking like through my front yard, but it's not. They're just, that's how fucking close the front yard is. Ramble, they're done. Let's take one more quick commercial break. We'll come back talking local wrestling. Hold on a second here. All right. So I saw this video the other day, and it was a shining example of things that I've been talking about with you and with Rip and with a lot of the other guys. I'm watching this match, and this kid comes, he's at the rope, he runs back, he hits the rope, he comes back, does a flipping senton over the top rope, which would have been fine if there had been somebody there to catch him. Splat on his fucking face. And I'm like, okay, first off, this is exactly the kind of problem. And as fucked up as it's going to sound, we've lost wrestlers to drugs, we've lost wrestlers to murder, we've lost wrestlers, but these kids are going to fucking kill themselves.
Ironically, who we're going to talk about here in a minute ties into that just a little bit.
It's like I watched that kid go over the ropes and I watched his face hit the fucking concrete. And I'm like, there's only so many times you can get away with that. Eventually, it's going to catch up to you.
And when it does, you end up sitting in lit rooms with sunglasses on.
Exactly.
Because your brains have been scrambled so much, it's done nerve damage to your eyes as well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a reality of what I live with.
Yeah.
And the reality of that's as far as range of motion I have in my neck because I've broken it twice.
Right. So it's like, you look at, all of the loss. Now it's weird because I can't remember anyone that we've lost to drugs recently. Like that seems to have, I know they're still out there. I know people are still, but I also know that the Federation has kind of turned a blind eye to marijuana use. Because it's a hell of a lot easier to have these guys on weed every night than on fucking painkillers that they're going to get addicted to, and eventually you're going to kill them.
Or booze, where they ended up like bloated toads and
Exactly. So so at least there's that. But yeah, I saw that kid fucking land on his face, and I'm like, kid, come on. And I call them kids because they are. They're fucking. My kid is older than that kid was, and it's just like it's like you gotta. I think that just breaks down to a lack of communication in the ring. Well, because that obviously his opponent was supposed to be there to catch him.
Yeah, I would think.
Not like fucking when the Undertaker took that header at that WrestleMania where was it Sika Solo or somebody Sika Snuka, I think it was Jimmy's kid that failed to catch him and he landed on his fucking head.
Yeah. That's the thing. And again, I can't hate on anybody for doing it because they're just trying to find their niche.
Oh,
and
sure.
A lot of it is as seen on TV wrestling is what it was called.
Taker had no business at his age doing that. At 45 or whatever, 50, whatever, however old he was.
In reality, none of us have any business.
Well, no, from the logical standpoint. Again, I was talking to Brad Laree the other night, and we were talking about how he's like, why did you think my story would be interested? I said, Brad, you get up in the morning and you go to work and you're like, okay, today I've got to throw myself down a flight of stairs. I've got to roll off after getting hit by a car. And then I have to break through a door. I'm like, whose normal day that isn't? Pretty much every fucking buddy else's.
Well, I've explained it before that most humans can count on one hand how many times they've hit the ground really hard in their life. Mm-hmm. And I can't do that for one night when I was a wrestler. Okay.
So
and that being the difference of.
Sure, certainly. So Hayabusa.
Yeah, as we talked about injury and whatnot, this guy was, when I first seen him, I had thought he was Sabu. And much like we had discussed, when I got started, you picked out 3 guys who influenced you and you tried to pattern yourself after. He had done it so much that I thought it was legitimately Sabu under a mask. Oh. And now he had started out originally with FMW, and he was an undercard guy. And much like the Ultimo Dragon, he didn't really find himself until he went to Mexico. He wrestled
Right.
in Mexico for a while. And then he came back to Japan and worked his way up with this new gimmick, Hayabusa. And he ended up being the number 2 guy in FMW. And he was such an influence and a creator. He was offered a contract with WWF and turned it down because he wanted to stay with FMW. How crazy is that? The only guy who was above him in FMW was the guy who owned the company, being Onita.
Right. Right.
So again, Hayabusa, though, later on in his career, during his last match, went for the Asai moonsault, or they call it the lion salt, or Jericho does. And when he did, he wasn't able to get over it, and he landed on his head and neck and paralyzed himself.
Jesus.
And that was in 2001, if I remember correctly. I'm looking at the page. Yeah, 2001. And it ended up being paralyzed from that. And later on, he ended up passing away in 2016. So he went 15 more years of life.
Right.
After being paralyzed. He did end up getting out of the wheelchair and walking around, but he ended up passing away from a brain hemorrhage later on. He was found dead 15 years later in 2016. But Hayabusa, this guy, man, what an amazing wrestler. His technique was so beautiful, so smooth. Ballet is what I would call it, because he was, and a really big influence. Yeah.
Tell me, and you bring that up, and let me ask you, what is it like when you're told you can't go anymore? Like what I mean. Okay, I mean, and that happens to all professional athletes across all levels. Like one day you just.
For me, I didn't have a choice.
Right.
I had a seizure in the middle of the ring. And for those, if you're just tuning in, wrestling was my escape in life. From the time I was a kid to the time I was a teenager to doing it professional, wrestling was always that escape for me. And the seizures that I have are called absent seizures. I'm aware of everything that's going on around me. I just can't react at all. And I laid in the middle of the ring, and I could see the people in the crowd, and I could see the kids. And after it happened to me, I thought about what it was like for me as a kid. And if I would have seen that, would that have turned me off to it? And the last thing I would ever want to do is turn somebody off to this because of my own want for the spotlight, because my ego needed that kind of stroking.
Right.
But that was it. The minute that I had the seizure in the middle of the ring, that was it. And I had no problem with it. And heaven forbid it ever happens to me on stage performing, doing comedy. But if it does, that's the time to wrap it up.
Sure. And it's and to go back to what we were talking about just before, you still get to be a part of the industry that you love. Yeah. You still get to train people, or you still get to, run shows, and that's, to me, that I think that would be the one thing. Like if I suddenly couldn't do what I do anymore, I don't honestly know what the hell I would do, because, if my brain stopped working in the way that it does and all of this stopped happening because of that, I have no idea what the hell I would end up doing.
The crazy thing for me is, and I say it so much, is how much of a blessing it is, but how much of a fucking trip it is that here I am 35 years later, and I'm still relevant of some sort.
Yeah.
People still want to hear what I've got to say, and my opinion has still mattered somehow in a business that I wasn't even supposed to be in to begin.
Right.
So
because you were too small and too,
And that was it.
Not in the land of the giants, you know.
And so to now, there's a price for everything in this world.
Right.
Nothing is free. And to have lived the life that I have lived and the life that I continue to live, this is the price that I've had to pay, my physical well-being, because I didn't have anything else to give. I didn't have the money to give. I didn't have all those different things to give. All I had was myself.
Right.
That's what I truly gave. And that was the price that I was willing to pay.
Right on. Right on. And it's a crazy business. Like, and the more, like, and folks, those of you listening, please don't get confused. I was never a professional wrestler. I've only been in the ring twice, and one of those times was for a photo op. And you will never hear me say, "Oh, I'll get in the ring right." I'm fucking 50 years old. I was asked at 20 if I wanted to become a wrestler, and by that point, I had a bad back and 2 bad knees. So I was like, "I appreciate the offer," because again, I'm 6'4", I'm a fucking giant, you know. But so for those of you listening, please don't think that I ever, at any point in time, I have never been a professional wrestler. I have never had a match in a professional wrestling ring. What I know about the business is from 40 plus years of fandom, reading a lot of books, and doing what I do now and talking to, wrestlers about the business and the backstage. And I'm like, so I just want to, because I know that there are people out there, particularly some of the boys, who, when people come in acting like they know everything, and that gets annoying, and I can understand that. It's like if someone was to come into my office and start acting like they knew how to fucking publish books. Right. And it's like, it's not as easy as it looks, So I just want to make that clarification. I don't want anybody ever thinking, I am not saying that. I said, I am also not disrespecting any man, woman, child, midget, bear, anybody else that stepped in between the wrestling rings. My hat is off to you. All right. I could not do what you guys do. And that is why I have been a fan since, 1984. So just want to clarify that. But let's take a look at this video about Hayabusa's title reign here, or double title reign. Yeah, that was the move right there. That kid landed on his face.
Yeah. Hilo, or senton, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's Masato Tanaka he's in the ring with there.
Him and Awesome kicked the hell out of each other, man. Holy Christ. That feud was crazy.
Yeah.
But that was just, Paulie seeing the potential, looking at those two guys and being like, oh.
So right there, speaking of
Mike Awesome.
Yeah, he was a gladiator in FMW.
Yes. Yes, he was.
Yeah, Mike Awesome. He was a cousin of Hogan as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, him and Horace were a tag team at one time. Wow.
Wow.
Right? Absolutely, he was such an amazing talent. And as I said, you can tell by the look why I might have confused at first, like the Sabu under a
mask. Sure. Yeah.
Right. But the match that he had with Sabu, I'd encourage everybody to look up. Just absolutely amazing match. That 450 splash here. But again, we're talking about this guy was supposed to be the guy to take over the business in Japan when Onita left the business. He was going to be the headliner for FMW until he broke his back.
No, it's a hell of a gimmick. The mask is cool. I dig the mask.
Yeah, and again, for the time, just me being a high flyer and seeing this guy, and I could do that. I can do that.
Right.
I can do that. And that was again one of those moments of, hey, wait a second. Because yeah, to see, yeah. Again, we both had the same influence being Sabu.
Sure. I mean, he was 6 foot, so he was not a particularly big guy.
No.
225. So yeah, that's.
And again, we're talking about this. This was kind of crossing those barriers again of the lighter weight wrestler actually being able to compete with the heavyweight wrestler.
Oh, sure.
And it being marketable as well.
Well, that's why I still think, one of the best matches they ever had on Nitro was Jericho and Scott Hall.
Yeah.
It's like, Hall was like, yeah, I'll he respected him and he was like, yeah, I'll do the job clean for him, no problem. And that was during the NWA days. He wasn't doing job clean, or NWO days. He wasn't doing clean jobs for anybody.
And as we talked about before, we're passing on this scroll. We're passing this on to the people that might not have known who Hayabusa was because he wasn't featured here in the United States.
Exactly.
This was a guy that influenced so many people, who was influenced by a guy who influenced so many people. And that's how it gets passed on down. So yeah, Hayabusa.
The legacy, that's the thing about wrestling, is as opposed to other sports, like Michael Jordan, for an example, could train someone to be a basketball player. He could be a coach. Are they ever going to be Michael Jordan? No.
Right.
Jordan's passing along those skills, but Jordan wasn't just skills, it was talent.
Right, of course.
The wrestling business.
Yeah. The free throw doesn't change.
Right.
The three-pointer doesn't change.
Yeah.
And it's the same as an arm drag, a headlock, a different take. Those things don't change.
Yeah.
It's the presentation. It's the
It's the talent is what it is. It's why, you've got a history of, that's why managers existed, because, you could have a guy who looked like $1 million, couldn't talk for shit.
Sure.
So you bring in somebody like Jimmy Hart or Paul Ellering or something like that. And, so now you've got a full package, and, love the manager, hate the manager, most of the time hate the manager. But yeah, so, for me, that was just one of those things where you can pass on your skills, but you cannot pass on, if you're going into the wrestling business, you can learn the steps, but you have to have rhythm.
But I say I can give you my tools, but the house you build is on you.
Exactly. So, so next week, you're off to the gathering.
Yeah, I think we're going to put together a few episodes beforehand, and
we will. We'll have a new show for Wednesday and Sunday next week.
Yeah, and I'll give everybody the heads up right now. The gathering, I treat it like Las Vegas. So what happens in Vegas? So maybe I'll get an interview or two from the JCW guys, or a shout out for the podcast or whatnot.
Yeah, but, that would be awesome.
Yeah, technically, I'm not all that technical with things, and I'm barely using this phone now. So we'll see what I can come up with.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here today for another episode of WMW. I hope that you found it as enlightening. I hope that you check out those Melvins and check out Scott Glenn. or Glenn Scott, and his bands and everything that he's got going on. If you're at the gathering next week, be sure to check out my man Izzy here. Say hello.
Yeah,
and
man, I'll be on the hill. Anybody that knows, find the gypsies on the hill. So.
All right. And, we'll be back next week and doing what we do best. So for those of us, I am the THC DOGG, back with the I to the double ZY. Folks, you have yourselves a great week, and we will talk to you next time.
Woo, woo.
Hi, I'm Cliffy, and I'm here today to tell you about an amazing new product that I got that you want, that you need in your life. It's called Ninja Vanish. If you're like me, you get yourself in a lot of sticky situations. How you gonna get out of them? Who's got time? Who wants to deal with that? You need Ninja Vanish. Here's how it works. You're in the situation, you gotta get out of the situation, bam! Hey, where'd I go? You don't know, and more importantly, no one else knows. You piss your pants on your friend's couch? Ninja Vanish! You fart in an elevator? You gotta get out of there! Ninja Vanish! You walk into a gay bar? Ninja Vanish! Unless you're gay. You get in a fight with a hooker? She bite your tongue off? Ninja Vanish! You reference old things that aren't even funny no more? Ninja Vanish! You pull out too late. 9 months later, you got a problem on your hands.
Baby, I have something really important to tell you. I'm pregnant. God damn it!
Ninja Vanish! Your mom catches you jacking off.
What are you doing?
I'm using the bathroom!
Well, I'm coming in there.
No?
Ninja Vanish. You wake up next to a big girl in the morning that you don't know how you got there?
You was a minotaur last night.
She's got a dick. Ninja Vanish. Hey, and for the ladies, you can use it as well. It ain't just for us guys. You fart while your boyfriend's going down on you. Ninja Vanish. Alright, now tell you what I'm gonna do. 'Cause we can't do this all day. I'm gonna give you a month's supply of Ninja Vanish for $29.95. It's made in Thailand, so you know it's good. You also get this, the blow phone. A phone with a breathalyzer. You'll never drunk dial again. $40 value, absolutely free in the next 15 minutes. Hey, you've tried the other guys? Now dip out with the best. Ninja Vanish.